Hi, for all nations, Old and New Testament ministry. Today we have our friend again, Mr. Dale. Mr. Dale, welcome.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about, wasting any time, we're going to talk about that Florida school today. And we actually going to start like this, that Mr. Dale gonna say actually 17 names. So 7 names he gonna say it and 7 name I'm gonna say it. So, Mr. Dale, you start with how you want to condolence the family and the name, please.
My deepest sympathies go out to the family and friends, first of all, of Scott, Alyssa, Martin, Nicholas, Aaron, Jamie, and Christopher.
And mine the same condolence for the families, which is Christopher, Luke, Cara, Gina, Jacqueline, Alina, Meadow, Helena, Alex, Carmen, and Pitty. So we condolence the family and all this. And now we're going to talk about some issues, and we're going to ask Mr. Dale that, what his opinion, and we'll exchange the opinion and all this, that, what could be better for our school system here in United States. So Mr. Dale, as you know the story and all this, how the story unfolded and all this. So please tell us that, what you think, what can be done, and what exactly happened, and how we can stop that.
I don't know exactly what happened. I mean, I only know what the media says, and I don't always trust what the media says. They usually will sensationalize things to just rile people up sometimes.
I see.
So, but from my understanding of it, I think this individual really probably should not have even been in possession of any firearms. I think the FBI had already been notified on several occasions from this person, and I think there was definitely some oversight that was definitely missed here. However, I don't know that there's any perfect solution to preventing this.
Right.
But I do believe that I really feel that guns are not well enough regulated in the United States. And I think that really needs to be considered. I think that needs to be looked into by every individual state.
I see. Well, here's my thing. That the young guy, he got the Uber. So he got the Uber, he came, and he was a previous student of the school.
Okay.
So he had those ammunition and all this in the bag, and he came there. And
I don't expect the Uber driver to know that he actually has the stuff in his bag. I don't expect him to know that.
Right. No, and that's not even my question. But my point is that how he was well planned, actually. Well planned, and came, and then how he got through the school. School didn't ask him to see in the bag and all this,
No, otherwise I'd have to, I have to look into every kid's backpack.
Yeah. So, but, and I think it was more than backpack, because the stuff he was carrying was more than that. And the school let him in, and the moment he got in the hallway, he started shooting.
Right.
So the guy, in few minutes, he take all the dreams of those kids. All the dreams was taken away, and here's parents waiting home and all this, that their kid's gonna come home and all this, and boom, didn't that happen? So 17 people, 14 students, and 3 were the faculty members.
Right.
Gone. I mean, gone from that world. So here's my thing is, when we gonna protect our school? Because we went to the moon, we become the powerful country in the world. I mean, all this we did and all this, and still, look what happened in Alabama. It started, in Alabama, shooting started, and it's going to be copycat. So my whole thing is, when and how our schools can be protected, and especially this mental issue stuff, that then we find out that the young guy is, had some mental problem. And whenever we talk about those issues, the government, schools and all this, they always want to put behind. Why? We have the best system in the world.
Not the best mental health system in the world. We stopped really looking into that back in, according to the public radio that I listened to, it started back in 1955, where we started looking more towards medications, medicating people with mental issues instead of hospitalizing people with medical issues. And we started getting rid of what, quote unquote, sanitariums, institutions. And according to the public radio I listened to a couple of days ago, we went from having 400 available beds in our state to having 12.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. I mean, when we gave up on treating mental illness as an illness and said, oh, well, we'll just give them a few meds and throw them back out into society, I don't think that's such a good idea. Some people really need help.
That is,
But that's a whole other part of the problem. That's something that we really need to look at.
but this is where actually the root problem is, because those young kids, especially, I mean,
when you're a teenager and you're growing up, and we all know this, your hormones are bouncing all over the place. Your emotions are bouncing all over the place. And at that age, you could do some really dumb things.
But yes, we can. But the point is that our government, being a world power, being a all this,
I don't want the government. The government is not responsible for that. I mean, they're not. They're responsible for protecting our country.
But the country school is part of the country.
That's part of the state, though, too. It's the state's responsibility.
And we are living, and our system is basically, regulation is done by the federal. That
we allow the federal government to regulate certain things.
But
we allow that.
We allow that, but again, at the same time, schools in the state or wherever schools in America, without protection, are we going to keep losing our kids? I mean, other day 17, 14, back in the...
Where I'm coming from is that guns need to be better regulated in every state.
Okay,
now, and there needs to be placed certain, I'm not going to say restrictions, okay, because under the Second Amendment of the Constitution, there are to be no infringements on the people to have a firearm. And that's because in order to have that well-regulated militia to defend the security of a free state, every citizen should have their right to own one. However, it does say well-regulated.
Okay.
And I don't believe it's being well-regulated by the states.
So that means we have 50 states, so all 50 states, they're not doing their job.
They're not doing their job, no.
Right? So that means in coming days and all this, we can just think that anytime, any school, we will see what happened in Florida, or we see in the past many other schools. I mean, this is basically a history in American school that, our school not protected, and the kid is, but here's I want to bring it. Let's say, put the gun behind, right now, let's put the guns other side and all this. This is what I want to talk about. That kid who shot, or anybody who comes, kids, 18 years, 20 years and all this, they need to be hanged. Simple. Capital punishment.
Capital punishment, huh?
Yes.
You're gonna have 2/3 of the United States that are going to argue that when the capital punishment is wrong. We're one of the very few countries in the world that still has capital punishment.
Yeah, but why? I mean, who make that decision that those 1,700 kids can be okay to kill and all this, and that dude has, let's say you or me, had a mental issues, and that thing took place. And now, when we talk about the capital punishment, everybody everybody gonna bring that issues that, no, we don't believe. Okay, we believe that our kids be sacrificed, they can be killed.
Well,
that's
no,
okay.
We need to take actions in order to try to prevent these things from happening.
So when are we gonna take action?
Some schools have. Some schools have put in metal detectors.
Well,
some schools have actual armed security.
But would that gonna bring those kids back? No. But here's my point. If we do that in United States, I mean, we go to other part of the world and all this, and when we do the issues like we war with Iraq and all these other countries, right? So what happened in the war? They kill our people, we kill their people, right? Simple as that. But here is, in the house, we have kids coming with the guns and shooting in the school.
How did they get the gun?
So
how did they
got the gun. Okay, let's say
now, every state has their own regulations on how guns are to be kept. And if the person in the home is not keeping that gun secure,
right? So that's taken, right? But then
someone broke the law. There are regulations.
But
here
we go. So this is what my whole thing is. But killing people, killing students and all this, why that person should not be hanged? Because I guarantee you, if we give the capital punishment,
that's up to the state. That's up to the state. They have to decide based on their laws what happens to that individual. I'm not going to tell any state, well, they have to be hanged. I live in a completely different state. That's not my call. That's their call.
But the thing
Every
is,
state has the right to making their own laws and own choices.
Do you think it's a right that one person take that many lives in just few minutes, and then we talk about this man should be hanged?
We all know that's wrong,
right? So then it should be the country should see all those copycats sitting there. They would know that if this guy, or if I would do that, he or she, whoever would do that, kill those kids and all this, would know it that immediately once I get caught, they're gonna take me, they're gonna give me capital punishment, or I should be not doing it.
And you think that's going to stop them?
No, that at least that would put on people's fear or something. Because if we
it's not going to stop them, because a lot of times those individuals are going into those situations planning on dying. So to them, I don't think it's really going to matter.
No, I think the thing is, copycat, this is for the copycat people or something, because when we talk about, look at it in Saudi Arabia, where some of the country where, they have those certain laws, like, if you do that and all this, and people see that, they think before even they want to do it and all this. Our system is so easy, like, he got the gun and all. Now they're talking about, okay, you have to be 21 years old to get the firearm. The Florida governor, he did that and all this. But my whole issue is this: those schools, all schools here in America, this is where the future of America is. And if that is not protected, as Donald Trump said, I'm your voice. So, I mean, what we are doing? What is being done for the school?
Right now, nothing.
So there's no solution, right? As
no,
you mentioned earlier.
There are solutions, but you have to actually agree on what a proper action is. One of the suggestions that President Trump had was to arm the teachers. And I don't think that can be part of a solution, but it cannot be the whole solution. Because I don't believe that everyone should be forced. I don't believe that anyone should be forced into having to carry a firearm. There is a responsibility on the individual that falls on that individual. And if you're not willing to take that responsibility, I'm not going to force it on you. That would be completely wrong. I would ask if any teachers would like to. And if none of them choose to, that's their choice. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Then we need to look into other things. Perhaps we need to put in metal detectors. Perhaps we need to put in our armed service people. We have plenty of veterans who would be more than willing to do something like that. To actually, maybe once or twice every month, to actually stand guard at a school. If that can be part of a well-regulated militia, a well-regulated civil thing within the community, I think that would be great. I think that's a good idea. Now, there's many things that we can do to improve the situation. But we need to look at those logically, and we need to determine which ones would work best in your state, in your community.
And I think
it may not be perfect across many states.
But I think to me, like if that's the case, all in 50 states, this is what I think. As a parents, as a own kids in high school, this is what I think. In all 50 states, if this is what parents feel, that their schools are protected because of their kids go there, I think all the parents in every state need to get in one unity and need to get out and come to the White House and come to the State Department, get there, get the march and all this, and at least they make their voices heard that something should be done. Otherwise,
that's just it. You really don't even need to march here in the United States. All you have to do is go to your representatives, and we can have caucuses that discuss this entire issue, and that we can actually have things brought before Congress, because that's their job, to pass legislation. You can do this within your own states.
So but that's been happening. It's just keep going on, and we think this is our congressman's going to do that. We go to the caucuses and they take this is our issue. The Congress and all this, their own fight is not even stopped. Their own fight, Republican, Democrat, they all fight, never going to finish. And our schools in America and all this never will be protected and all this. But we thank you so much, Mr. Dale. Again, wish we have more time and all this. We definitely. We'll talk about that again and all this. And thank you so much for coming here.
And
thank you. You all take care and have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.